What's up, everybody, and welcome to another Seven Figure Photographer Live. It is Monday, March 20th. Man, I cannot believe March is already passing us by, but I'm excited to be here. I've been out fishing. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm really dark. I don't know if I might have the light turned up enough that you can't really tell, but I've been out fishing for the last week. Down in California, and no, the fishing wasn't great, but the experience was great, and I got really sunburned. Even though the majority of the time it rained or was overcast, I still got burnt. We had like 2 solid days of sun, and I got burnt no matter what. So excited to talk about today's topic. Today's topic is, who does you work for? I know it sounds terrible. It doesn't sound right. When I first typed it out, I kind of had the whole Austin Powers thought in my mind. But what we're going to do today is we're going to take ourselves out of the equation and look at it from a different perspective. And we're going to talk about it coming up here pretty quickly. So let's first jump into our intro. What's up, guys? For those of you who don't know me, my name is Sam Marvin, and I have been in the photography industry for 25 plus years. While I love being a creative, business is my passion, and elevating the industry of photography is my focus. I created the Seven Figure Photographer to share my journey to 7 figures and help others find their way too.
That's amazing.
All right, so there you have it. So like I said, today we're going to talk about really the past and future me, or for you and your particular situation, the past and present you. Now, I was actually talking to a client this morning and a friend, and I actually asked him, I was like, what do you think I should talk about today? And he says, one of the things that I'm constantly thinking about are the things that I do today for past me or for future me? And it kind of led me down some trail of thought, and so that's what we're going to talk about today. For those of you who are here and who have a chance, make sure to comment in the comments below. Mia is not here with us today because I gave her the week off for spring break. I'm guessing that's where most of you guys is on spring break, just enjoying your time with your kids and your family. Maybe, hopefully, have better weather than we do. We definitely have spring weather. It's raining outside. So I'm going to make today relatively quick because I don't think it's like a ton of topic to talk about, but also I don't want to take up too much of everybody's time. So like I said, I kind of gave you an idea of why this topic came up. I was talking to a friend this morning, and that was kind of an idea he gave me. And as I thought about it, I was like, man, I don't really know how to talk like to that specifically. But as I thought about it, I was like, man, this actually fits like what every photographer is going through that I get to deal with on a regular basis. They're all going through this, where so much of what they're doing on a regular basis or on a daily basis is reacting to problems that were created by themselves. So, we always are talking about, well, if I could just do this, and surprisingly, and you guys have all heard me say this on many occasions, like, find a reason to be responsible for everything. Like, if you have an issue or a problem, if you can take responsibility of that problem, you're the only one that can change it. When you can settle down and recognize that the only person that you can change in this world is yourself, it gives you so much empowerment to go out and change the things that cause you challenges. And so by taking you out of the equation, think about who you're working for. Are you working every day for the past you or the problems that the past you created? Or are you working for the future you? And I think that for me, like, this was such an eye-opener for me when he said this, because honestly, like, that is my focus right now. My focus is trying to create more opportunities of working for the future me so that I can enjoy my time more for myself. And so what that looks like, and you guys have all heard me talk about this, is being more proactive rather than reactive. When we're reactive, we have a tendency to be working on problems and issues that are things that we created ourselves by doing something in the past. And so therefore we're working for our past us or the past you. Whereas if we're working for the future, we're doing things that are proactive to prepare for those things. Now, some of those things can be things like, for instance, I'm notorious. I'm notoriously a reactive person. So it's a very hard challenge for me to make sure that I am working for future me and not being a reactive person, but trying to be a proactive person. Now, there's a lot of things that I've done in my life and a lot of systems that I've set up to create proactive efforts for better results. Having an employee, that's one of those things that I do so that I don't have to do some of the things that I suck at, like being like a good communicator, or being like some of those things, like just sending out emails, scheduling appointments. Like I have a tendency when somebody wants to schedule an appointment, I'm like, I kind of like have to be in the right mindset. And so sometimes I'll put that off instead of jumping in and attacking it head on. But in that situation, what I'm doing is I'm causing problems for future me. I'm causing reactive situations for future me. So the activity that I would love to suggest and what I would love to see you guys do is start taking an inventory of your daily efforts, your daily activities, and look at what you do. Is what you just did or what you've done for the day, was it predominantly proactive or was it reactive? We get calls all the time, people wondering, when they can pick their stuff up. And typically we go into a reactive state in that situation. We're reacting to, okay, a client is, wondering about their stuff. So obviously we aren't doing our job. We don't have it ready. We haven't gotten in touch with them to let them know that it was ready. And sometimes that is a lot of what it is. It's just little simple things that we just drop the ball on. And so then therefore we're being reactive to the situation. Instead, we can create systems and automations that help us be proactive so that therefore we're working for future you. We've all heard the comment like, oh, you can fix that in Photoshop. And we all hate it. Like if you don't hate it, then you're crazy. I oftentimes say, oh, don't worry, Michelle can fix that in Photoshop, which she would probably kill me for. But what you're doing is you're paving the way to create problems for future you, so that future you is ultimately going to be reactive. Now, some of us end up in a situation where everything we do is reactive. We don't react until a customer is upset. We don't react until it's too late. I'll be the first to admit, like, I know that, like, I don't pay my power bill until I get the phone call that says your power is due. And I'm like, oh, okay, I gotta go pay my power bill, which is totally dumb. But it's one of those things that I had gotten into a habit of, now I have multiple things, so I have to kind of be on top of it. But like, I knew from when I was young, when I got that phone call, that I had to pay my power bill. And so otherwise it was kind of like, you'd think that every time I turned on the switch, it would remind me, oh, don't forget to pay the power bill. But no, I waited for that phone call that said, this is Idaho Power. And I'm like, oh yeah, then no problem. I'll pay my power bill. And so why not figure out ways to be proactive in those situations and take care of things ahead of time so that we aren't reacting to things. When we react to things, oftentimes we're making more, what would be the word? More like, somebody help me out here, like a quick, not necessarily like planned out decisions. We're not, man, I can't think. I'm having a thing with words today. So, but we don't want to be that way. We want to be carefully prepared for the decisions that we make. And if we're making decisions at the last minute, trying to react to a problem, then oftentimes we could make bad decisions. But when you have created a business that is so reactive and all you're doing on a regular basis is cleaning up the messes that you've created, figure out where those messes are. Like, what's causing those messes? And I was terrible when I was working when it was just me and I was doing everything. The one place I would get held up is culling and editing. I would get everything done for the sales session because I wanted to get people in, wanted to get the money paid. But then after that, I struggled to get that part of the customer journey done. And so I had so many challenges, and I constantly became a reactive business owner. I was constantly fixing messes that were coming in. And I literally had the mentality that you grease the squeaky wheel. So whoever's squawking the most, that's who we're going to take care of first. And it causes such an incredible level of stress and frustration that it's just easier to create a system or an automation that helps you take care of that ahead of time so that you're being proactive instead of reactive. So the activity that I'd love for you guys to do is look at your decisions. So at the end of the day, maybe sit down and take an inventory and say, okay, I had, I made a decision on this today. I got a phone call about this. That was a reactive situation. I did this, which was a proactive thing. And look at it and say, okay, well, if I made 20 decisions today and 5 of those 20 decisions were proactive and the other 15 decisions were reactive or situations were reactive, then you're really working at a 20% proactive rate. And if you can look at it and say, okay, I'm 80% reactive, 20% proactive, how can we flip-flop that? What can we do to change those things so that we are acting 80% proactive and 20% reactive? Maybe you can even get it down less to like 95-5, but we're going to go with the 80-20 rule, the Pareto principle, just because it's easy and it's great and everybody loves it. So that's the activity I'd love for you guys to do. Take some time, look at your day, and maybe you just use Trello. You can set up a free account on Trello if you haven't already done that, and just use Trello and mark down like what are the things you do. Kind of take an inventory or a journal of what you did for the day, and how many of those decisions were reactive, how many of them were proactive, and just look at that percentage and determine, is your week 80% reactive versus 20% proactive, or is it 100% reactive and 0% proactive? So that's what I would love to see you guys do. I'm going to do the same thing for myself because I am, like I said, I'm notoriously a reactive person. I've done a lot in my life to be more proactive. That's how I afford myself time to do a lot of the things that I do, or to have time to do what I want to do, is because I'm trying to make sure that those things are proactive. And sometimes a lot of times I'm still very reactive, but I'm going to try to inventory myself and kind of take and make notes on my own of what I'm doing and how much of it is proactive versus reactive, and how can I change that. When you understand where the issues are, when you're being reactive, and you can start to see those things and say, okay, that was a reactive thing. What could I do to make sure that that doesn't ever happen again? What can I do today to make sure that future me doesn't have to work harder because today I just didn't respond or react to the things I did? And sometimes it's hard to shift that. Sometimes you have to jump in and you have to say, okay, like, what can I do right now to be more proactive for my future, and allow the reactive things to slowly filter through and be done. And so that you'll get that shift to where pretty soon more of what you're doing is proactive, or you're starting today and you're making everything proactive. And then you're just starting to notice, okay, well, these are the reactive things I'm doing. So what can you do to fix those? And then you're just defining where your bottlenecks are in your business. What are the things that are causing problems? What can you do to make those things change and be better? And then that's pretty much going to propel you forward in your business. So looks like we've got a couple of people on here. Nobody's even said anything. If you guys are on here hanging out, please comment, tell us who you are, where you're watching from. If you have any questions, I'll give you a few seconds to reply with a question about the topic or anything, whatever you want. I didn't catch any big fish last week. I caught one that was 2.7 pounds. In fact, that was the only one I caught in the tournament, which was sad. But it was still a fun and amazing experience that, man, I just, yeah, it was fun. So, okay. Any questions, thoughts? Bueller, do I look sunburned? Or did I turn the lights up enough that it doesn't look so bad? So, all right, guys, I think we're going to go ahead and end that one for today. I hope you guys have a wonderful week for spring break. I know some of you guys are not on spring break. Some of you are. If not, you're probably getting jonesing for spring break to have the kids home all week and have all that distraction. Yeah, maybe not. So anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you have a wonderful day and don't have too much fun out there without me. Peace out, Girl Scout.